On the 23rd of October, 1775, Samuel Osgood, who had led a company of Minutemen at the Battle of Lexington and Concord, wrote a letter to John Adams. Within the letter, he informed the Massachusetts statesman on the progress of a secret new underwater weapon that the colonists planned to use against the British. Osgood did not bury the lead. He wrote that the Waters machine from Connecticut is every day expected in camp. It must unavoidably be a clumsy business, as its weight is about a ton, and he added a fiery hope that it might send British ships beyond the attraction of the earth, because it was the only chance they had of reaching St. Peter's Gate. The machine had a nickname, the Turtle. Its designers, David Bushnell and Isaac Doolittle, a former clockmaker, were pioneers in cutting-edge military technology of the day, and both were Yale graduates. Bushnell had already demonstrated that gunpowder could be ignited and exploded underwater, and he used this knowledge to design underwater mines and torpedoes. The Turtle's mission was not to destroy a ship directly, but to slip close enough to an enemy hull undetected, so an explosive mine could be attached and later detonated by a timer fuse. That mine carried around 150 pounds of black powder, which, if set properly, could be devastating. Early tests in the Connecticut River were successful, with Bushnell's brother Ezra at the controls of the single-man vessel. The Turtle was propelled through the water by a treadle-driven propeller and a hand-operated crank, a system that required considerable effort, meaning the pilot had to be physically fit. Visibility came through porthole windows near the top of the craft, and in the hatch on top, the same hatch used to enter and exit. Crucially, that hatch was the only way air could get inside. Because of its limited air capacity, traveling underwater was only done when absolutely necessary. For most of the journey, the Turtle was intended to run with the hatch just protruding from the surface, and because it would be exposed, only night missions were planned. To solve the problem of navigating in darkness, the team ingeniously attached bioluminescent Foxfire to the needles of the Turtle's compass and other instruments so they could be read at night. Would you have trusted Foxfire and a one-man craft with only a hatch for air to creep up on a warship in the dark? Tell us how you would have approached the mission and whether you would target a flagship or pick something smaller. After those tests, the Turtle was transported to Long Island Sound in early 1776 in preparation for active use. Ezra, however, fell ill, and a new pilot had to be found and trained, which set the project back. 3 candidates were found, and after the Turtle was moved to the Hudson River for training, the craft was then towed to New York Harbor to attack the British fleet. By then, the British had abandoned Boston in March 1776 and set their sights on New York. On the 12th of July, Admiral Howe's fleet arrived at Staten Island with the largest British expeditionary force ever assembled, and with other ships in North American waters, it formed the biggest amphibious assault force in European history. Approximately 48 ships and over 10,000 British troops, including General Sir William Howe. Locals said the masts looked like a forest of pines spread across the bay. Wading into that forest would be America's first covert underwater weapon. On the 6th of September, 1776, the Turtle's first mission got underway, piloted by Sergeant Ezra Lee. The target was HMS Eagle, the Royal Navy's flagship in New York Harbor, moored off Governor's Island. The currents were much stronger than anticipated, and even with bioluminescent controls, the darkness made navigation difficult. Lee planned to attach a mine to the underside of the Eagle using a hand auger, but when he went to drill, he hit metal instead of wood, and the explosive would not attach. As dawn approached, he abandoned the mission. The Turtle had worked as designed, but the operation failed. If you enjoy precise, fact-driven stories from the American Revolution, make sure to subscribe for more history deep dives, technology firsts, and turning points that shaped the modern world. The Turtle was employed in 2 more missions, both of which also failed, and the prototype Submersible was later lost during the Battle of Fort Lee when the British sank the sloop transporting it. Even so, it was America's first underwater weapon of war, truly point-of-the-spear military technology for its time. A fully functional replica was constructed from Bushnell's designs in the 1970s and is currently on display at the Connecticut River Foundation, although they probably will not let you take it out for a spin. Was the Turtle a failure, or was it the daring spark that proved covert underwater warfare could be done at all?